Hello, 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 saludos. Getting started a little bit early just to let folks in and get a little comfortable. So glad that you're here to share with us hard hitting words for hard hit people. We have, I think, a pretty amazing program that People's Music Network has helped us put together. We're all a big part of this and we're super happy. I'm super happy. I'm Rosie Amador from Solicanto. Momentarily, I'll be joined by my husband, Brian, and I'm going to sort of pass that virtual microphone to say saludos to our friends Martin and Lauren. So you can say hi and unmute yourself, please.
Hola. Hello.
Hola.
Bienvenidos.
Wonderful to have you.
And we
How
feel
about
wonderful
Charlie,
being
too?
had.
Did I hear my name mentioned?
I mentioned your name.
Well, good. Here I am,
Yes.
ready to serve.
And Jen Dog as well, please. Making sure everybody can be heard this evening. We all have a lot to say. You can unmute yourself. Or you can unmute yourself when you're ready. Brian, would you like to join us? All right, Brian's going to join us as well. So we're all tuning in and bringing our art in from all different parts of the country, right? So I'll volunteer to say where. This is Brian. we're sitting here in our living room in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
And I, and not just I, am in Shelburne Falls, Massachusetts, on the Buckland side of the river. That's how you can tell us apart.
And Martine and I are also in Shelburne Falls, on the Shelburne Falls side of the river.
All right. Hey, welcome, Jen Dog. Don't forget to unmute yourself.
Hey, so I'm here in Brooklyn.
All right.
I'm really glad we're all here together. We can make something special happen.
Heck yeah. My name is Ben Grosscup. I'm running tech tonight. I'm in the background. I just posted into the chat for Zoom, actually, the link that you can use to share this live stream. So anyone who's on Zoom right now, feel free to do that. You can share it on Facebook, and the whole cool show will be available to your friends.
I'm sharing right now.
Way to go.
We're live. Okay. All right. Is it time yet?
I think it's time at 7:30. So feel free to take it away, Charlie.
Hello and welcome to the People's Music Network for Songs of Freedom and Struggle. My name is Charlie King, and I'll be your host for this evening's presentation, Hard-Hitting Words for Hard-Hit People. And I'm sure there are many of both in the audience. People's Music Network sustains and grows a diverse community of performing artists, activists, and allies who use music, poetry, and other art forms as catalysts for a just and peaceful world. Since last March, we've been offering regular online performances in which PMN members and friends explore the role music and poetry play in the movements for justice that we are part of. Every week, PMN members gather online using the Zoom video conference platform. We have numerous upcoming events that are listed on our website, so check that out at peoplesmusic.org. And I want to invite you to share the Facebook live stream. If you're already watching on Facebook, you can simply press share on the video itself to share tonight's performance with a larger audience. If you're watching on Zoom, one thing you should know is that you're visible. So if you don't want to be visible on Zoom and on Facebook, you can turn off your video camera. And asking those who are watching on Zoom to look in the chat box for a link to the Facebook live stream. That'll take you to the live stream where you can click the share button. So I think that's all the ground rules for tonight. So let me introduce the first artist. Martin Espada has published more than 20 books as a poet, editor, essayist, and translator. His forthcoming book of poems from Norton is called Floaters. Other collections of poems include Vivas to Those Who Have Failed, The Trouble Ball, The Republic of Poetry, Alabanza, and A Mayan Astronomer and Hell's Kitchen. He's the editor of What Saves Us? Poems of Empathy and Outrage in the Age of Trump. His honors include the Ruth Lilly Poetry Prize and Shelley Memorial Award, the Robert Creeley Award, an Academy of American Poets Fellowship, and a Guggenheim Fellowship. His book of essays, Zapata's Disciple, was banned in Tucson, Arizona, as part of the Mexican American Studies program outlawed by the state of Arizona. A former tenant lawyer, Espada is a professor of English at the University of Massachusetts, Amherst. Please welcome Martin Espada.
Buenas noches. Bienvenidos. Good evening. Welcome. I'd like to thank Charlie King. I'd like to thank Ben Grosscup and the People's Music Network. And I'd like to thank all the performers tonight. I'm going to read two poems in my first set. The first one is about a photograph. You probably remember this photograph. It went viral last summer. Two Salvadoran migrants, father and daughter, drowned crossing the Rio Grande. They came to be known as Oscar and Valeria. This photograph provoked grief, compassion, and also denial. The I'm 1015 Border Patrol Facebook group posted the charge that the photograph was fake news. And they used a common Border Patrol term for drowned migrants that gives my poem its title. Floaters. Epigraph. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and ask, have y'all ever seen floaters this clean? I'm not trying to be an ass, but I have never seen floaters like this. Could this be another edited photo? We've all seen the Dems and liberal parties do some pretty sick things. Anonymous post, I'm 1015, Border Patrol Facebook group. Like a beer bottle thrown into the river by a boy too drunk to cry. Like the shard of a styrofoam cup drained of coffee brown as the river. Like the plank of a fishing boat broken in half by the river, the dead float. And the dead have a name. Floaters, say the men of the Border Patrol, keeping watch all night by the river, hearts pumping coffee as they say the word floaters, soft as a bubble, hard as a shoe, as it nudges the body to see if it breathes, to see if it moans, to see if it sits up and speaks. And the dead have names. A feast day parade of names, names that dress all in red, names that twirl skirts, names that blow whistles, names that shake rattles, names that sing in praise of the saints. Say Oscar Alberto Martinez Ramirez. Say Angie Valeria Martinez Avalos. See how they rise off the tongue, the calling of bird to bird somewhere in the trees above our heads, trilling in the dark heart of the leaves. Say what we know of them, now they are dead. Oscar slapped dough for pizza with oven blistered fingers. Daughter Valeria sang, banging a toy guitar. He slipped free of the apron he wore in the blast of the oven, sold the motorcycle he would kick till it sputtered to life, counted off pesos for the journey across the river, and the last of his 25 years, and the last of her 23 months. There is another name that beats its wings in the heart of the trees. Say, Tanya, Vanessa, Avalos, Oscar's wife and Valeria's mother, the witness stumbling along the river. Now their names rise off her tongue. Say, Oscar y Valeria. He swam from Matamoros across to Brownsville, the girl slung around his neck, stood her in the weeds on the Texas side of the river, swore to return with her mother in hand, turning his back as fathers do, who later say, I turned around and she was gone. In the time it takes for a bird to hop from branch to branch, Valeria jumped in the river after her father. Maybe he called out her name as he swept her up from the river. Maybe the river drowned out his voice as the water swept them away. Tanya called out the names of the saints, but the saints drowsed in the stupor of birds in the dark, their cages covered with blankets. The men on patrol would never hear their pleas for asylum, watching for floaters, hearts pumping coffee all night on the Texas side of the river. No one, they say, had ever seen floaters this clean. Oscar's black shirt yanked up to the armpits, Valeria's arms slung around her father's neck, even after the light left her eyes, both face down in the weeds back on the Mexican side of the river. Another edited photo. See how her head disappears in his shirt, the waterlogged diaper bunched in her pants, the blue of the blue cans. The radio warned us about the crisis actors we see at one school shooting after another. The man called Oscar will breathe, sit up, speak, tug the black shirt over his head, shower off the mud, and shake hands with the photographer. Yet, the floaters did not float down the Rio Grande like Olympians showing off the backstroke, nor did their souls float up to Dallas, land of rumored jobs and a president shot in the head as he waved from his motorcade. No bubbles rose from their breath in the mud, light as the iridescent circles of soap that would fascinate a 2-year-old. And the dead still have names. Names that sing in praise of the saints, names that flower in blossoms of white, a cortege of names dressed all in black, trailing the coffins to the cemetery. Carved their names in headlines and gravestones they would never know in the kitchens of this cacophonous world. Enter their names in the book of names. Say Oscar Alberto Martinez Ramirez. Say Angie Valeria Martinez Avalos. Bury them in a corner of the cemetery named for the sainted Archbishop of the poor, shot in the heart saying Mass, bullets bought by the taxes I paid when I worked as a bouncer and fractured my hand 40 years ago, and bumper stickers read, El Salvador is Spanish for Vietnam. When the last bubble of breath escapes the body, may the men who speak of floaters, who have never seen floaters this clean, float through the clouds to the heavens, where they paddle the air as they wait for the saint who flips through the keys on his ring like a drowsy janitor till he fingers the key that turns the lock and shuts the gate on their babble-tongued faces, and they plunge back to earth, a shower of hailstones pelting the river, the Mexican side of the river. My second poem in this set. My friend, my compañero Camilo Perez Bustillo with the Hope Border Institute helped to lead a campaign to close an internment camp for 3,000 adolescent migrants in the desert at Tornillo, Texas. And he told me this, quote, the one place the kids detained there told us they felt free was on the soccer field. It was the only place from which they could be connected in some kind of physical flow with the world beyond the barbed wire by kicking as many soccer balls as high and as far as they could beyond the fencing around them. Large numbers of these balls piled up quickly outside. Those of us visiting and protesting outside joked that each of these balls marked a goal with a message. And that's where this next poem comes from. It's called Ode to the Soccer Ball Sailing Over a Barbed Wire Fence. Epigraph: Tornillo has become the symbol of what may be the largest U.S. mass detention of children not charged with crimes since the World War II internment of Japanese Americans. Robert Moore, Texas Monthly. Praise Tornillo, word for screw in Spanish, word for jailer in English, word for 3,000 adolescent migrants incarcerated in camp. Praise the 3,000 soccer balls gift wrapped at Christmas as if raindrops in the desert inflated and bounced through the door. Praise the soccer games rotating with a whistle every 20 minutes so 3,000 adolescent migrants could take turns kicking a ball. Praise the boys and girls who walked 1,000 miles, blood caked in their toes, yelling in Spanish and a dozen Mayan tongues on the field. Praise the first teenager, brain ablaze like chili pepper Christmas lights, to kick a soccer ball high over the chain link and barbed wire fence. Praise the first teenager to scrawl a name and number on the face of the ball, then boot it all the way to the dirt road on the other side. Praise the smirk of teenagers at the jailers scooping up fugitive soccer balls, jabbering about the ingratitude of teenagers at Christmas. Praise the soccer ball sailing over the barbed wire fence, white and black like the moon, yellow like the sun, blue like the world. Praise the soccer ball flying to the moon, flying to the sun, flying to other worlds, flying to Antigua, Guatemala, where Starbucks buys coffee beans. Praise the soccer ball bounding off the lawn at the White House, thudding off the president's head as he waves to absolutely no one. Praise the piñata of the president's head, jelly beans pouring from his ears, enough to feed 3,000 adolescents incarcerated at Tornillo. Praise Tornillo, word in Spanish for adolescent migrant internment camp, abandoned by jailers in the desert, liberated by a blizzard of soccer balls. I will now introduce Sol y Canto. Sol y Canto, Sun and Song, features Puerto Rican, Argentine singer Rosy Amador's crystalline vocals and New Mexican Spanish guitarist composer Brian Amador's Spanish guitar playing and compositions. Critically acclaimed as Boston's Latin music ambassadors since 1984, they co-founded their first band, Flor de Caña, inspired by a life-changing trip to Nicaragua. The couple performs Brian's original compositions, songs from the Nueva Canción tradition, and creative arrangements of beloved Latin American classics in richly diverse Latin rhythms from Puerto Rico and Cuba to Argentina and Uruguay. Their songs touch on themes of hope, social justice, love, and food in genres ranging from gentle ballads to churning Latin dance grooves. So, please welcome Sol y Canto.
Thank you, Martin.
Muchas gracias, Martin.
The first tune we're going to do is
Well, I would just like to thank Martin for the amazing, hard-hitting poetry.
yes.
You are so evocative, and I've always loved your work. But just to be able to share this virtual stage with you is really special. So I didn't want us to start singing without acknowledging that. Muchas gracias.
This song we're going to do is could be seen as a response to the poem that Martin just read about the soccer balls. as you know, these children and young people have been jailed for more than a year now at our border. And when this whole thing started, a friend of mine suggested that we write a lullaby for those children, which I started to do. I thought it was a great idea, but I wasn't getting anywhere, because every time I thought about it, it just filled me with rage, until I figured out how to incorporate the rage into the lullaby. So part of the song is in Spanish. It's a lullaby to those children, and then there's a part in English for the people who are responsible for their being there. The Spanish words say, "Sleep, little girl, sleep, sleep if you can, far from your papi in your gray cell. Sleep, little boy, know that your mommy thinks of nothing but you, longs for no one but you, and is searching for you. Sleep, little girl, and if they mistreat you, it's nothing personal. It's just these people cannot see you as a human being. You're nothing but collateral damage." There's a phrase in the English spoken word part that's "son niños carajo," they're children, damn it, that's repeated. And then finally it says, "Sleep, little girl, sleep. This long night will not last forever. We won't forget you. We won't give up until you wake up in freedom." Duerme, niña, duerme, duerme si puedes, lejos de tu papi, en tu celda gris. Duerme, niño, duerme. Sepas que tu mami no piensa más que en ti, no añora más que a ti, y en busca va de ti. Duerme, niña, duerme. Duerme si puedes, y si te maltratan, no es nada personal. Es que esa gente no es capaz de verte como un ser humano. No eres más que daño colateral. That was a lullaby I needed to write for the children sleeping in cages tonight, far from their homes, their friends and their mommies, their cousins and their tias and their siblings and poppies. And now a little verse for those who put them there. How dare you? Have you no shame? Are you so blinded by hate that you can't wait to cause another person pain? Can you accept the things they're doing in your name? Is it right to rip a mother from her child for the crime of asking for asylum, a little shelter from the storm, a chance to see her kids grow up? Having come so far just to end up in a cage, it puts me in a rage. Son niños, carajo! All your excuses, your blame, and your justification, all the bile, denial, and obfuscation can't convince the sentient your intentions are good any more than Judas could. You betray your humanity, display your insanity, tear apart families for the sake of your vanity. A wall, you say, build a wall. How about you build yourself a conscience? How about we build ourselves a country with a heart, a connection to the world, an unbreakable democracy instead of a pathetic misanthropic plutocracy? How about we treat every child like our own, treat the earth like our home, learn to live together so we don't die alone. Remember, every child is a child is a child. Son niños, carajo, son niños, carajo, son niños, carajo, son niños, carajo. Duerme, niña, duerme. que si puedes, que esta noche larga tendrá su final. No te olvidaremos, no descansaremos hasta que amanezcas, hasta que amanezcas en libertad.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Nana Rabiosa. That's a song that we actually shared with the world some time ago on SoundCloud. It can be found, and we hope that you will feel free to share it as well. It's there, easily downloadable, soundcloud.com, and it's called Nana Rabiosa, Raging Lullaby, Brian Amador, easy to find. It's also on our latest CD, but that's the easiest way to find that song online. We're going to do a song now by with poetry. It's from Cuba, with poetry from Nicolás Guillén, and the music is by one of the Nueva Trova's preeminent icons, Pablo Milanés. And I'm going to do a bit of the translation. Did you want to add something?
No.
Oh, I thought you were moving like you were going to say
I'm
something. Okay. So this is actually a love song. We all need a little bit of love right now, especially. This one is called Canción, Song. In such a quiet way, your smile gets under my skin, as if it were the spring and I was dying. How subtle the way in which you poured on my shirt all of April's flowers. How spiritual that you should offer me a rose from your favorite rose garden. Canción. De qué callada manera se me adentra usted sonriendo como si fuera la primavera y yo muriendo. Y de qué modo sutil me derramó en la camisa todas las flores de abril. ¿Quién le dijo que yo era risa siempre, nunca llanto, como si fuera la primavera? No soy tanto, y en cambio qué espiritual que usted me brinde una rosa, de su rosa principal. De qué callada manera se me adentra usted sonriendo, como si fuera la primavera. Yo muriendo, de qué callada manera se me adentra usted sonriendo, como si fuera la primavera. Yo muriendo, yo muriendo. Que callada manera se ve adentro usted sonriendo como si fuera la primavera y yo muriendo. Y de qué modo sutil me derramó en la camisa todas las flores de abril. Te dijo que yo era risa siempre y nunca llanto, como si fuera la primavera. No soy tanto, y canto que espiritual que usted me brinde una rosa, su rosa principal. De qué callada manera se me adentra usted sonriendo, como si fuera la primavera. Y yo muriendo, de qué callada manera se me adentra usted sonriendo, como si fuera la primavera. Yo muriendo, yo muriendo. Yo muriendo, 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 yo muriendo. Ahí nada más. Muchas gracias. I hope you enjoyed those two songs. Thank you so much from our heart
Thank
to
you.
yours.
We're going to introduce the next artist now, who is a wonderful poet named Lauren Marie Schmidt, the author of 4 books. Her latest collection of poems is Filthy Laborers. Of this book, Sam Hamill said, "No one, I believe, has written with such delicate honesty and compassion about shelters for homeless, often abused women. The range of her vision is exquisite."
Shall I continue?
Yes.
Other collections include The Voodoo Doll Parade, Psalms of the Dining Room, and Two Black Eyes and a Patch of Hair Missing. She is currently at work on a young audience novel.
Young adult.
Young adult, excuse me, from my music world. Her awards include the Vilcek Prize for Poetry, the So to Speak Poetry Prize, love that name, and Neil Postman Prize for Metaphor. She received an MFA from Antioch University, served as a poet in the schools in Paterson, New Jersey, taught high school English in Springfield, Massachusetts, and now teaches humanities at the Academy of Charlemont. Please welcome Lauren Ann Schmidt. Marie Schmidt. Forgive me, Lauren Marie. It's hard to read and look and try and be charismatic.
No, I hear you. Thank you so much. Let's give them a round of applause and some snaps. Soli canto.
Muchas
gracias.
gracias.
So welcome everybody. Hello to everybody out there in the ether. It's really nice to not see you, but glad that you're there. I'm going to read a few poems here from my collection called Psalms of the Dining Room, which is about my volunteer work experience at a soup kitchen. The first poem I will read is called Prayer, and it's dedicated to Jeremy. When I clear your table after you've gone, there's a small scrap of paper which reads, "God bless you. You are beautiful. I promise to pray for you." Pray for me? Pray for me? Then pray for me that I wake up in the morning in a bed and lie there, that I give my blessings their proper names and faces, the blessings that keep me from a life too like yours. Pray for me. Because the first thought of my day is hunger. Pray for me that I eat, but pray for me that I know hunger. Pray for me. Pray for me that I feel myself in the growl of your belly, that I remember I am more like you than I remember. Pray for me. Pray for me that I am Rodney with his weary eyes, who was all at once teacher, cousin, neighbor, friend, and the stranger who held the door for me when my arms were full of bags. Please pray. Pray for me that I am the woman with earth-rich skin. Pray for those hands that slammed her plate face down into the table for me to clean. Pray for me that I know no such grief. Pray for me. Pray for me that I am Larry, whose fingers shoot music into the belly of the piano. Those same 7 songs spark from its upright head. Pray for me that I have the comfort of knowing what comes next. Pray for me. Pray for me that I am the blind man, because the room knows to make room for him. People move tables, chairs, themselves, part a path for him as if he were a king. But pray for me that I make way. Pray for me. Pray for me that I am Amber with her Vaseline face, whose words are frenzied centipedes that scatter from her lips and braid above her head. She stares at them like a mobile or a noose. She stares at them like she would a heaven. Pray for me, there's a heaven, that the demons inked along Leanne's spine do not exist. Pray for me. Pray for me that my back can carry such blackness if it needs to. Pray for me. Pray for me that I am the pregnant girl who was allowed a second plate. Pray that I know the power I hold in my body, for a tiny king can grow eyes in my body. Please pray. Pray for me that I am the man in this same room, seated at another table, the man that gives the girl his milk. Pray for me that I remember to give up my milk. Pray for me that I am the milk. This next poem is called Kenneth's Purse. When people come to the dining room, they have to register with their given names, the names that they were given at birth, and the ones that match their social security numbers. It was clear that this person, though, identified not as a man, but a woman. So the title of this poem is called Kenneth's Purse, but all of the pronouns are she pronouns. Not a woman's purse, but a little girl's purse. Sequined and pink, the strap barely enough for Kenneth to fit her arm through. She wears a teenager's t-shirt, baby blue and too small to hide the roll of belly, the fur that coils down to the groin or the bra straps. I do not wonder if that hair bothers her, if she feels about it the way I feel about my thighs. I do not wonder what's beneath her jeans, if she throbs seeing a naked woman or man. I do not wonder about her breasts, if they're real or if they're a bald pair of socks, why they're lopsided and uneven. I do not wonder if she must shave her face twice a day, or if it's secret or Old Spice behind her bathroom mirror. I am not curious about the voice she is careful not to use. But I do wonder what's inside that purse. Maybe she carries the cold hand she used to wear in the days she spent digging for stones along the coast in a forest of Douglas fir. Maybe a familiar voice calling her home for dinner or all the lima beans she never ate. Maybe she's kept the gutted deer she found dangling from a neighbor's tree, or the flies that bounced around the strips of shredded flesh. Maybe she carries raccoons in the raccoons that cackled in the backyard shed and gave her nightmares all her life, or the punch her brothers left in her stomach when she embarrassed him before his friends. Maybe she carries a moonlit kiss or a Christmas ornament, the first word she ever spoke. Maybe she keeps music in there, love songs or songs of dreams and journeys, and laughter. How I hope there is some laughter. Maybe she carries all the advice she never took about baseball, love, or how to defend herself against the sideways glances that began in 7th grade, the whispers, the lookers, the ones who tried not to look, or the ones who looked like they were trying not to look. Maybe she keeps the word faggot in that purse, or queer, freak, pussy, homo. Maybe she keeps the written notes, the threats, the eating alone at lunchtime, the long walk home from school. Maybe she keeps the prayer she says to herself or the tampon she wishes she could use. I don't know what's inside that purse, but today I saw something to be added. The warmth left on the seat across the table from her, where a man sat down and asked her to say her name, the name she gave herself, the way a bird must name herself, the first time she burst from trees to flight. The last poem I'm going to read is called Manny, and it's dedicated to Manny. And it's based on a real person who, after a really long time of not having work, finally came into the kitchen and celebrated what he hoped would be his last meal at the dining room. It's called Manny. Manny got a job today. After 9 months of pushing peas around his plate, eyes he could not bear to lift, Manny got a job today. Then this could be the day the burns on Berta's arms iron out and tighten, the day her butterfly fingers separate from the cocoon of cells that swathes them. This could be the day she pulls her shirt over her shoulder, lengthens her limb through the sleeve with ease, extends the crook fused in a melted web of skin, so she no longer smuggles her arm in the belly of her shirt as if to soothe an ache. This could be the day the rot in Rico's leg dries its vast jungle, the day the claw of red-ripped skin releases its grip in the heart-shaped carve of his calf, the day his cane is used for dancing. This could be the day the scourge of sores on Selena's lips seals shut, the day the yellow-green scabs flake away and her moldy breath sweetens. This could be the day the fear coiled in Doyle's mind lifts like smoke rings and fades, the day he forgets his wife's bones he put above a fire. This could be the day Jay's machine gun gibberish becomes prayer or poetry, praise or warning, the day the tank in his throat cranks its belts into the soft pulses of a baritone, the day he learns to sing. This could be the day the scar that halves Marva's face unzips, the day her albino eye flushes its gray and glimmers, warm with brown and sight again. The day the right side of her face sits on the throne of her skull, the day the Z in her spine straightens. This could be the day the spectacle of Kenneth's gender is quelled, the day she learns to carry asymmetric breasts and pack away her penis, the day God is merciful and stuffs him into the purse of a body he was not born into but wears around his shoulder. This could be the day everyone lifts their glasses. Manny got a job today. The day silver stays in drawers and napkins folded away. The day there's more than enough for seconds. Manny got a job today. The day the doors are boarded up. The day the close sign is hung. Manny got a job today. Yes, Manny got a job today. I'd now like to introduce Charlie King. Charlie King is a musical storyteller and political satirist. He has been at the heart of American folk music for more than half a century. He is the recipient of the Phil Oakes Award, the War Resisters League's Peacemaker Award, the Sacco and Vanzetti Social Justice Award, for which she was nominated by Pete Seeger, and the Joe Hill Award, a Lifetime Achievement Award for excellence in the field of labor culture. Charlie was born in 1947, raised in Brockton, Massachusetts, and currently lives in Shelburne Falls. He cites as musical influences the folk music revival of the 60s and his participation in political struggles in the decades that followed. Ladies and gentlemen, Charlie King.
Thank you, Lauren. And thanks for those wonderful poems. I think the best song I could follow those poems with is written by Andrew Lawrence. He wrote it about a homeless man in Washington, D.C., named Michael Cater. And the song is called The Place We Found for Michael. Must have been a sore, sore sight, weeping like a wound at times, passing by him noon and night, pass along a pair of dimes, swearing how it did no good, given he was not inclined to spend them well. You won't have to look him in the eye anymore and wonder if he'll last another year. You won't have to wonder how or why anymore. The place we found for Michael is a long, long way from here. Must have been a hard, hard sound, harder than a cattle brand, having the police come round, asking, did you know this man? Have you ever kissed these lips? Have you ever held these hands of his in yours? She won't have to worry if he's cold anymore, wonder if he's had a decent meal. She won't have to watch him growing old anymore. The place we found for Michael is a long, long way from here. Must have been a cold, cold night on a thin, thin skin. Must have been asleep so tight he'd never want to wake again. Must have been a dream so deep with room enough to move on in and make a home. He won't have to take what we can share anymore and tell us things we don't want to hear. He won't be round to teach us how to care anymore. The place we found for Michael is a long, long way from here. Long, long way from here. Andrew Lawrence. This song goes back to 1993. It's a story that I set in the first couple of months of the Bill Clinton presidency. Wayne was a bashful kid, grew up on Nashville and dreamed of the smoky old West. His dad's a straight shooter, told Wayne, a recruiter, could help him put hair on his chest. He signed up for Fort Benning. He liked all the men. He made friends with a shake and a grin. Met the men he liked most at a bar off the post. It's the first place Wayne ever fit in. But the neon sign over the bar hung under the howitzer shell flashed the saddest words Wayne ever saw. Don't ask, don't tell. Wanda could flaunt it, knew just what she wanted. She got started in ROTC. Outdid all the men, outranked half of Fort Benning, outspoken, outrageous, and free. The night was her cover. She'd waltz her wild lover out under the big George moon. But tonight it was raining, so she ran into Wayne in the heart of that same old saloon. And the neon sign over the bar hung under the howitzer shell flashed the saddest words they ever saw. Don't ask, don't tell. Wayne mumbles, howdy. She says, hello, cowboy, I don't believe we've met before. Wayne's new in the service. He gulps his drink nervously, keeping one eye on the door. She says, it's no crime here. Is this your first time here? He raises his glass to the sign. She says, everyone in here's got their own opinion. Now you're gonna listen to mine. What I read in that sign is a 4-word prescription for life in your own private hell. It's the great compromise. They say wear a disguise and everything's gonna be swell. I say you're only as sick as your secret. Only the truth sets you free. And you're only alone till you speak it. Ask me. Tell me. Wayne smiles at Wanda, then flags the bartender. Wanda says, this one's on me. They sit swapping stories, old guilt and old glory, old secrets and old memories. They plan their attack. Wanda covers his back while Wayne pulls the plug on the sign. As they waltz across the parking lot, rain finally starts to stop. Big old moon starting to shine. Oh, says you're only as sick as your secret. Only the truth sets you free. You're only alone till you speak it. Ask me, tell me, yeah, you are only alone till you speak it. Ask me, tell me, ask me, tell me. So, it's now my pleasure to introduce Gen Dog Lone Wolf, who is a staple at these People's Music Network performances. And she's a multidisciplinary, two-spirit, black, native, photographer, and touring hip-hop MC from Bushwick, Brooklyn. She navigates a myriad of spaces, challenging stereotypes and issues at the intersections of class, race, gender, and sexuality, while representing the true essence of hip-hop culture and music as a voice of the people. Jen Dog collaborated with Grammy Award-winning Dan Zanes on 2 hip-hop folk music collaborations, including a Leadbelly tribute on Smithsonian Institute's Folkways Records. As an international touring artist, she's performed at numerous universities, festivals, and conferences. With her partner in art and love, Yalini Dream, as one half of the performance duo Brooklyn Dreamwolf. They have shared stages with icons like Nile Rodgers, Harry Belafonte, Joan Baez, and Archbishop Desmond Tutu. They've toured in South Africa, Cambodia, Sri Lanka, Canada, the United Kingdom, India, and across the United States, performing and facilitating workshops. So please welcome Jen Dog Lone Wolf.
Hey, thank you, and thank you everybody for your beautiful words. And this has been a great collection of folks tonight, speaking to some serious issues. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get into it. Yeah, I can't sing about people hard hit without singing about my people. So I'm gonna start with that. Black people, black people, black people, black people, black people, black people, yeah, black people, black people, black people. How we move, how we talk, how we groove, how we walk, how we lit, how we get it, how we live, how we sport, how we spit it, how we try, how we good, how we lie, how we hood, how we spend, how we trend, how we buy, how we live, how we die, how we give, how we try, how we rap, why we trap, how we bad, why we cry, how we smooth, how we broke, how we take it, how we're old, how they treat us, how we fake it, how we got that, how they see us. We inspire, we can lead, how you bleed is how we bleed. Yeah, we tough, but then they cut us, then they charge us when we bleed. Then they bleed us, start at feeders, we offend them, they repeat it. Officer, overseer, made our Africans to Christ believers. Still get followed, some are shallow, hard on's gone, heart got hollow. Loyal how we ride, when we lack somehow we try. We fight back, they try clap, we clap back, can't hide our black. We react, how we that, how we snap, why we trap, how we pose and they pics, we in the back, they think they slick, get the sack. We had kingdom, named us black, left us slinging. Now some are lounging, some still scrounging, some made homes in public housing. Family, we made it to this point, that's that. So with you for the advancement of our people, and let me hear you clap. Beat is made by Jemsky Chan out in the UK. Black people, black people, black people, black people, yeah, black people, black people, black people. How we move, how we talk, how we groove, how we walk, how we lit, how we get it, how we live, how we sport, how we spit it, how we try, how we good, how we lie, how we hood, how we spend, how we trend, how we buy, how we live, how we die, how we give, how we try, how we rap, why we trap, how we bad, why we cry, how we smooth, how we broke, how we take it, how we're old, how they treat us, how we fake it, how we got that, how they see us. Black people, black people. Yeah. Thank y'all. So weird, like I don't care how many Zooms I do, it's so weird to like not be able to really see folks and connect with people in the audience. But I'm so glad that y'all are here, supporting People's Music Network, and
what we're presenting to you, you know, and this is where it's at. So, all right, this next song is also produced by Jemsky Chan, super dope producer out of London, and it's called Outside of Myself. So yeah, Outside of Myself. So make sure you get involved, register with PMN. You know, we got a lot of great things going on. All right? So, here we go. Prison labor sucks and laws that do rich favors, while those with flavor still targets to enslave us. Collateral damage, social insecurities. The biggest kingpins work in the medical industry. And treatment for cancer, that sector's worth trillions. Why not curb vaccines as a natural cure for autism? Even more schisms, isms and hypnotism. Drowning celestial mysticisms, unholy baptism. Sheeple head, don't listen, look but can't see. The bling bling only glistens. Oh no, this can't be. Lands of milk and honey forced to pour in the shanties. They be down or be bad. Half the time unhappily. Education system is crappily handled, leaving people dumb, true knowledge in shambles. So come now, with them dumb tactics. Fluoride poison helps them, dumb down the masses. With the masses dumbed down, it's so easy. TNT in the ghetto, designed to blow breezy. Wrist to the beast, perfect, pork greasy. These are the rhymes of your girl Jen Deasy. Stepping outside of myself, from the inside. On the flip side, I shun pride when I hit stride. Old school OG, move matter like riptides. I pivot through moments, I like when I get nice. Maybe I'll hit twice, Lotto is like that. Some lyrics in a dream, I like when I write that. Unconcerned with tit-tat or who the best fit that. Triple doubling time just to see who would get that. Maybe it'll fly over your head. Maybe soldiers choose peace instead. Magic overflows, grew up with tough broads. We loyal to the gristle, strong like hemp claw. Try to complete what it is I'm sent for. Avoid all the temptors, be a mentor. Write dope songs in the rank protector. Magically delicious, Scorpio inspector. I'd rather be fair than try to be right. I'm proud to be brown, don't need to act white. I'm a soul survivor, major not minor. Jen dog ain't lost, some just can't seem to find her. Look a little deeper, see if you could peep her. Maybe she down round by you on the creep up. I've never been a follow, I command respect. And introspect can only help hope manifest. So I don't contest much, sing to the next crutch. Swagger seem tough cause it got that Brooklyn touch. Gold and titanium, questions in your cranium. Answers in parables, spitfire staining them. Rain down on her, put the pain down on her. Nah, let me chill, let go disdain for him. Was a matter of time until I splattered these rhymes into sound waves. Your space, my mind, our world. Be boys and be girls, watching monumental government lies unfurled. So holla holla, who else fighting for that dollar? Made out of 15 cent, muchacha mala. Queen the OG, track you in my third sight, moves so slowly, thoughts in the ether, I love who know me, crosshairs, follow you thoroughly, I'm a double Scorpio, tactics from above me, sharpshooting charms, I'm looking at lovely, I was born to battle demons, cause they can't touch me, trust when I spit hard, easy like a Dutch beat, 40-40 club, Jenny D not rusty, I'm fixing my war chest, seek the crusty, I pop you like a pimple, I left your pussy, I let Hammer tell that you still can't touch this, society got my safety off, I could go postal, but I reload, I face the music I'm supposed to. If it's not a bullseye, I sneak up from behind it. Jen Dog, Lone Wolf, rare like a diamond. Jen Dog, Lone Wolf, rare like a diamond. Shout out to Jen Chan. Jen Dog, Lone Wolf, rare like a diamond. All right, moving right along. Everybody good out there in Facebook world? Woo! Got one more for you, and then we're gonna keep it moving. So this next song is called State of the World.
Without the people, there is no movement. You are the movement. You dictate the movement. You lead the movement. And if you cannot seize this moment in history to define a movement that is your movement and your rights and your pain and your suffering.
Most victims are not a participant. I like that cause of shiesty politicians. Protest but they don't get paid to listen. Hands up and it ain't our palms that glisten. Still open season on blacks and native women. Still cracks in this bad sacred system. Corrupt leaders cause the people didn't pick them. Medical and food industry is sickening. Yo, where do I start? So intertwined, premeditated, ill-fated victims. This hierarchy is post-dated. Intentions evil, delivering speeches unbelievable. There ain't no good sequel. Be victor or the beast will eat you. It's already ceased to be an engine to serve the people. Governmental, 2 words of the evil them men do. The fraudulent Babylon got our youngins on heroin. People lost in the forefront with barely foundation to stand on. Barricaded in worlds, enveloped in girls. No direction, insurrection. My kitchen steak curl. Fools running round like heads with soft torsos. Who's satisfied with morsels? Remember what life taught you. Divided we conquered. Together we not lost. What's the method for together? Well, it won't exceed the cost. And that's for sure. Your fight should be my fight and mine yours. Tolerating on pause. Get them verbs off pause. Tolerating on pause. Tolerating on pause. Get them verbs off pause. Tolerating on pause. Get your verbs off pause. It's our duty to fight for our freedom. It's our duty to win. We must love and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our change. Most victims without a pot to piss in. I like that cause it's shiesty politicians. Protest but they don't get paid to listen. Hands up and it ain't our palms that glisten. Still open season on blacks and native women. Still cracks in this bad cycle system. Corrupt leaders cause the people didn't pick them. Medical and food industry is sickening. Babies crying ripped from the arms of their moms. And poor dad brown buck is broken, worn. Disappeared with no regards. Life already been hard. Working for the man until you die on the job. Filthy greedy slobs, not much change since Africa. They stole people, then added evil to formula. Created cheap labor, free, mad heat, slave labor. Evolved the mad beef in our streets. So I spit my piece on this beat unique. I need my people healthy, brain, teeth to feet. Medicare, health scare, seem like no one with wealth care about this brown melanation. Cars ain't dealt fair. There's too many humans whose food supply is too bare. And too many children, too many secrets to bear. And too many poor created how the wealthy don't care. Doctors selling drugs, too much corporate welfare. Too much corporate welfare. So thank y'all so much. And I am going to pass this mic back to Soli Canto. So,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you, Jen Dog. That was
Thank
wonderful.
you so much. Muchísimas gracias. Very powerful.
De nada.
You're right. It is strange for us to be doing things this way. But I wanted to share that one of the things for me about this pandemic, which of course has so many not good parts, has been that we have learned to adapt, as many of us as possible that have been able to do so. And for me personally, actually, it was kind of a call to come back to music a lot more, because we have another career as voice actors. And I found that for me, ironically, Jen Dog, even though it was just through this medium, by people being able to write in chats and Facebook Live messages, that I felt the connection. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful that we get to be here together, and I'm grateful to everyone who is attending live and those who will see this a little bit later on. And of course, I want to express my gratitude to People's Music Network, which I might add is one of the ways that we kind of established a presence as a Nueva Canción band back in the mid-'80s. The People's Music Network welcomed us when we were new to the People's Music Network, like it welcomes everyone. So it's still serving this incredibly important role to help diverse music get out, and incredible messages, powerful messages. So now we'll do a song of Brian's.
This is a song that was inspired by the Camino de Santiago in northern Spain, which is a pilgrimage that many people do for various reasons, religious and non-religious. And actually, Rosie and I were going to be going on the Camino this spring, which didn't happen for obvious reasons, but we're planning to do it next year. The song is kind of about how you respond to what life gives you. It says, good travels, good detour, good stumble, and good recovery. Good injury, good remedy, good failure, and good redemption. The road is your destiny. The road is yours, nothing more nor less. If you see me, greet me in passing, and good redemption. Buen camino, buen desvío, buen tropiezo, buena recuperación, buena herida, buen remedio, buen fracaso y buena redención.
Buena angustia, buen alivio, buen conflicto, buena reconciliación, buen descanso, buen trabajo, buena lucha y buena aceptación.
Buen camino,
El camino es
buen
tu
destino,
destino. El camino
buen tropiezo,
es tuyo.
buena recuperación,
Líbranos,
buena
si
herida,
debes
buen remedio, buen
del
fracaso y buena redención. Buen fracaso y buena redención.
Buen camino. Thank you so much. Good path. Speaking of paths, there's a path that we must all take and help everybody take, which is to vote. To vote in November so that we can change the path that we're on. So let me blurt out that call to action right now. We have to do everything in our power to make change happen. We need it desperately, and I know that together we can make it happen. We can. Speaking of change, we took some time during the pandemic to edit this. This is a new album that we just released a few weeks ago. It's called En Vivo en Familia. I guess I can get a little closer over there, more or less. No, that's the there we go. It's called En Vivo en Familia, and we recorded it, it has family in it because we recorded it with our daughter, Alisa, who's over here. She is a really beautiful singer-songwriter, and her career is just taking off, and she was meant to be on the road by this time. But we recorded it last fall, and then through the pandemic, we worked with a wonderful engineer to create this live version with our band and Alisa of our music. It includes Nana Rabiosa, it includes Canción, which we did in our first set. It includes Buen Camino and the song that we're about to do. And if anyone's interested in supporting our live music project here, please go to solicanto.com. It's available on all the digital platforms. But as you know, the way to support us more directly is to order the CD. So muchas gracias in advance, and we hope that you get to listen and enjoy it. So we're going to do this other song. Also
Rosie
by
and
Brian.
I are the proud parents of 24-year-old twins, and this is a song that I wish I had written for them maybe 10 or 12 years ago before they started falling in love and getting their hearts broken, but it was a little later than that. But anyway, the song is called Amarás, You Will Love. You will love, and the object of your love will not always deserve it. You will think that there's no point in loving, that it's useless to even dream of anything more. You'll cry thinking that there's no room in this world for that great love of yours. You'll cry, and maybe from your tears will spring the seed of an illusion, and you will love. Or maybe not. Maybe you don't find your soulmate. Maybe your better half turns out to be a lemon. You'll find love wherever you find it, and taking advantage of it or not is up to you. We can't know what the future will bring, and the dances you've danced, nobody can take away from you. It takes it takes attention, dedication, and effort to exercise the muscle of love. You will cry, and with every heartbeat, with every heartbreak, you'll learn to love yourself better, and you will love.
Eso mismo.
Y dice.
Amarás y el objeto de tu amor no siempre lo merecerá. Pensarás que es en vano el amar, que inútil es soñar con más. Y harás, sentirás que en este mundo no hay lugar para aquel amor profundo y que la suerte tuya es vivir toda la vida en soledad. Y orarás y tal vez de ese llanto brotará la semilla del encanto y dirás que tal vez vale la pena y amarás.
O tal vez no, tal vez no. O tal vez no llegues a encontrar tu alma gemela.
O tal vez no,
Tal vez tu media naranja resulte el limón. Encontrarás el amor por donde lo encuentres. Y aprovecharlo o no es tu decisión.
o tal vez no,
Nunca se sabe qué nos traerá
Tal
el
vez no.
futuro.
o tal vez no,
Y lo que has bailado no te lo
tal
pueden
vez
quitar.
no.
Requiere atención, esmero y paciencia. Ejercitar el músculo del amor,
El músculo del amor.
del amor,
El músculo del amor.
del amor,
El músculo del amor.
del amor.
Amarás y el objeto de tu amor no siempre lo merecerá. Pensarás que es en vano el amar, que inútil es soñar con más. Llorarás, sentirás que en este mundo no hay lugar para aquel amor profundo y que la suerte tuya es vivir toda la vida en soledad.
Llorarás y con cada desamor aprenderás cómo amarte mejor y verás que aún vale la pena y amarás, 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 Thank you,
Amarás.
everybody.
Muchas gracias.
Woo!
Our colleagues. Muchas gracias, Charlie, Martin, everybody, Gentle, Ben in the background. Thank you, everybody who's here. And guess what? The show is not over.
That's right.
I just got carried away saying thank you. But actually, there's more. But wait, there's more.
We're going to send you back now to Lauren Marie Schmidt.
That's it. Bienvenida, Lauren Marie.
Okay, so thank you again, Soliganto. I'm going to read a few poems from my most recent collection, Filthy Labors, which has a sequence of poems about my volunteer work at a transitional housing program for homeless women. And when some people heard that I was doing this and that what I was doing basically was teaching them creative writing and bringing them poetry, a lot of people said to me, well, you're a high school teacher or you're a college teacher. Why aren't you teaching them GED stuff? Or why aren't you teaching them something useful? Which I couldn't wrap my head around because what could be more useful than poetry? So I wrote this very short poem as a response to those people, and it's called, appropriately, In Defense of Poetry. To you who say poetry is a waste of 10 homeless mothers' time, that I should correct their grammar and spelling, spit shine their speech so it gleams, make them sound more like me, that I should set a bucket of yes, miss, thank you, whatever you say, miss, on their heads, fill that bucket heavy, tell them how to tiptoe to keep it steady, that I should give them something they can truly use, like diapers, food, or boots. I say, you've never seen these women lower their noses over poetry, as if praying the rosary, as if hoping for a lover to slip his tongue between their lips or sip a thin spring of water from a fountain. A lot of the book can actually be characterized in defense of something. In the next poem, titled Welfare Mothers, I wanted to challenge the stereotype of women who receive government support, which are too often really oppressive and limiting. Welfare mothers. Lakita was chewing her cuticles when I noticed how thin she had become, so careworn and thin. This afternoon, her face was not its usual honey gold, but gray, her hips thin, wrists thin, all over thin. I asked her if she'd eaten today, and with pink-rimmed eyes fixed on her fingers, she shook her head. I pulled 8 singles from my jeans, bills as soft and worn as used tissues, and held them out for her to take to the Wawa at the corner. She held the money in a stiff gaze, but did not move until I took her wrist, pressed the slim fold in her palm, and closed her fingers around it. She returned with 2 bagels, a convenience store coffee, a cherry Gatorade, a plastic knife, and 1 small cup of cream cheese. I waited for the honey to return to her face as she ate and ate and ate. With the last lump of food still stuffed inside her cheek, Lakita approached me to give me a wrinkled Wawa receipt and drop a dime, a nickel, and 2 pennies in my hand. You can't see this, but I'm getting snaps off to my right from Martine. It helps me not feel like I'm alone reading to no one. The last poem I'm going to read is called The Social Worker's Advice, and it is based on an actual experience that I had with one of the social workers who, after many years of service in a very difficult profession, I'm afraid to say burned out. And I know that it's difficult not to burn out with such hard work. And I don't believe that most social workers are like this, but I think that we run a seriously dangerous line if the people who are hired to support our most vulnerable populations are not doing it for the right reasons or not doing it with the level of empathy that they need in order to be effective. So that's what this poem is about. And I thank you so much for listening. The Social Worker's Advice. Jabbing a finger at my face, you say, "You can't have empathy. Empathy will eat you alive." As if empathy were a beast with feathers, fur, and hair, with hind legs and deft feet, wings and claws, a beast that soars, stalks, lunges, springs, a beast that chases, a beast that screams instead of sings, with giant jaws and a tongue budded with a rapacious taste for fools like me, fools who don't believe the beast exists to eat, who let it burrow its snout between our legs, fingers, up to our armpits, the spaces of our common human stink. But you see a beast that sniffs and snarls for a thick blue vein to sick. And when I look at you, I understand the beast more plainly. I see that its skin collects pockmarks each time you dock merit points to teach the mothers not to talk black. I see that its fingers, your forehead sprouts 1,000 of your scornful eyes. Its claws slash as swift and deep as your condescension, because what you mean is that I can't have empathy for these girls, for times like these, for a place like this, for Nicole, who tallies the number of days it's been since she last flushed her vein with a spoon-cooked mix, 28 days and counting. No empathy for Nicole because she can never seem to find matching socks for her 4-year-old son, or because she folds flowers from twice-used computer paper to calm her nerves. Bouquets of paper daisies sprout from vases on all 4 tables in the dining room. What you mean is that I can't have empathy for Takina, who was told to go by Tina because her white adoptive mother, middle-aged, middle-class, prefers it. Her birth mother is 5 years gone, and Takina thinks she might be pregnant again. I can't have empathy for Denise, who was pregnant with her third, but didn't know until she was too far in. For Angelica, who fell down the stairs while holding her infant son, too spent from pre-sun feedings and weeping in the wee hours as minutes lurched by. Each tick-tock is the sound of the deadlocked door of the nighttime aide, who snores in the small room near the exit like a beast at the gates, preventing escape from this place, this time, from lives like these, without signing a release form for the Division of Youth and Family Services, like Diana, who took her 2 kids to a hotel where alone at night she stares at ceiling holes in the red glow of the word vacancy flashing through windows with no curtains. I can't have empathy for Lakita, so thin that when she aims her breast at her baby's lips, she prays she has something wet and real to give. When you say with your wagging finger, you can't have empathy, empathy will eat you alive. What you mean is that I can't have empathy for these girls. And when I look at you, I cannot help but wonder when you first believed empathy would do more than sniff and lick your palms. So I say, let it take me then, this beast of your invention. Let it slip its fangs into my skin and tear through my throat. Let it suck all the fat and blood from off my solid bones. And one last time, let's bring around Charlie King. Charlie.
I just said such wonderful things about you, Lauren, but I was muted. Let's see. I've got a note obscuring my face here. I'll read it to you. The host has spotlighted your video for everyone. Would you like to unmute your microphone? I think I have.
I hear you good. Yeah.
So, gosh, Lauren, hard-hitting words for hard-hit people. You're our patron saint tonight. There were some hard-hitting statistics reported in the New York Times a few years ago. Statistics are kind of dry, no matter how shocking they may be. So this is an attempt to put some flesh on those bones. By the latest estimation, black men in the prime of life, due to mass incarceration, taser, chokehold, gun, and knife, notwithstanding loud entreaties falling on disdainful ears, now are an endangered species. 1 in 6 have disappeared. Father, brother, son, or lover, 1 in 6 have disappeared. Stolen lives we can't recover, 1 in 6 have disappeared. Every home bereft or broken, every bond that we hold dear, all the love that's left unspoken, 1 in 6 have disappeared. Elder, mentor, willing student, 1 in 6 have disappeared. Damned by forces jurisprudent, 1 in 6 have disappeared. Master, journeyman, apprentice, pacifist or bombardier, teacher, lawyer, doctor, dentist, 1 in 6 have disappeared. Out in Ferguson, Missouri, 2 in 5 have disappeared. Numbers tell a harder story, 2 in 5 have disappeared. Genders equal at beginning if they live past teenage years. 60 men, 100 women, 2 in 5 have disappeared. Ends the song that's sung in sorrow, 1 in 6 have disappeared. Even if we change tomorrow, 1 in 6 have disappeared. Reparations and repentance, justice rendered, life revered. Still we hear the heavy sentence, 1 in 6 have disappeared. 1 in 6 have disappeared. Thank you. In 1927, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts electrocuted 2 Italian immigrants, Nicola Sacco and Bartolomeo Vanzetti. The charge was murder, but their real crimes were being immigrants, being anarchists, labor agitators, war resistors. And they were found guilty of all those things by a jury of all white, native-born men and an upper-class judge from Worcester, Massachusetts, Judge Webster Thayer. On the 50th anniversary of their deaths, I wrote 2 Good Arms. The chorus is based on the words spoken by Vanzetti to the judge upon being sentenced to death. Who will remember the hands so white and fine that touched the finest linen, that poured the finest wine? Who will remember the genteel words they spoke to name the lives of 2 good men a nuisance or a joke? All who know these 2 good arms know I never had to rob or kill. I can live by my own 2 hands and live well. And all my life I have struggled to rid the earth of all such crime. Who will remember Judge Webster there, 1 hand on the back, 1 hand on the gavel, the other resting on the chair? Who will remember the hateful words he said, speaking to the living in the language of the dead? All who know these 2 good arms know I never had to rob or kill. I can live by my own 2 hands and live well. And all my life I have struggled to rid the earth of all such crime. Who will remember the hand upon the switch that took the lives of 2 good men in the service of the rich? Who will remember the one that gave the nod, or the chaplain standing near at hand to invoke the name of God? We will remember this good shoemaker. We will remember this poor fish peddler. We will remember all the strong arms and hands that never once found justice in the hands that rule this land. And all who know these two good men know they never had to rob or kill. Each has lived by his own two hands, and they lived well. And all their lives they had struggled to rid the earth of all such crime. And all our lives we must struggle to rid the earth of all such crime. Sacco and Vanzetti, presente.
Presente. Woo!
Martin Espada will round out the evening with several poems. Please welcome Martin.
Thank you, Charlie. And thank you for that great song about Sacco and Vanzetti. This is my response to that song. A poem about Sacco and Vanzetti. The quotes in this poem from Vanzetti, Warden Hendry, and other details come from the New York Times report on the execution, August 23rd, 1927. The site of Charlestown State Prison in Boston, where Sacco and Vanzetti were executed, is now the site of Bunker Hill Community College, with a big immigrant population. So if the state thought that killing these immigrants would stop the immigrants from coming, they were very wrong. This poem is called I Now Pronounce You Dead, for Sacco and Vanzetti, executed August 23rd, 1927. On the night of his execution, Bartolomeo Vanzetti, immigrant from Italia, fishmonger, anarchist, shook the hand of Warden Hendry and thanked him for everything. I wish to forgive some people for what they are now doing to me, said Vanzetti, blindfolded, strapped down to the chair that would shoot 2,000 volts through his body. The warden's eyes were wet. The warden's mouth was dry. The warden heard his own voice croak, under the law, I now pronounce you dead. No one could hear him. With the same hand that shook the hand of Bartolomeo Vanzetti, Warden Hendry of Charlestown Prison waved at the executioner who gripped the switch to yank it down. The walls of Charlestown Prison are gone, to ruin, to dust, to mist. Where the prison stood, there is a school. In the hallways, tongues speak the Spanish of the Dominican, the Portuguese of Cabo Verde, the Creole of Haiti. No one can hear the last words of Vanzetti or the howl of thousands on Boston Common when they knew. After midnight, at the hour of the execution, Warden Hendry sits in the cafeteria, his hand shaking as if shocked, rice flying off his fork. So he cannot eat no matter how the hunger feeds on him, muttering the words that only he can hear. I now pronounce you dead. This next poem, my second of three in this set, is also a response to Charlie. It's a response to Dog, and it's a response to the demonstrations and the demonstrators out there today. In 1964, my father, Frank Espada, was arrested at a protest against racial discrimination and suddenly disappeared. I was 7 years old, and I just knew my father was dead. This poem is called The Sign in My Father's Hands for Frank Espada. The beer company did not hire Blacks or Puerto Ricans, so my father joined the picket line at the Schaefer Beer Pavilion, New York World's Fair, amid the crowds glaring with canine hostility. But the cops brandished nightsticks and handcuffs to protect the beer, and my father disappeared. In 1964, I had never tasted beer, and no one told me about the picket signs torn in two by the cops of brewery. I knew what dead was. Dead was a cat overrun with parasites and dumped in the hallway incinerator. I knew my father was dead. I went mute and filmy-eyed, the slow boy who did not hear the question in school. I sat studying his framed photograph like a mirror, my darker face. Days later, he appeared in the doorway, grinning with his gilded tooth, not dead. Though I would come to learn that sometimes Puerto Ricans die in jail with bruises no one can explain, swelling their eyes shut. I would learn, too, that boycott is not a boy's haircut, that I could sketch a picket line on the blank side of a leaflet. That day, my father returned from the netherworld easily as riding the elevator to apartment 14F, and the brewery cops could only watch in drunken disappointment. I searched my father's hands for a sign of the miracle. So I'll finish my reading with this poem, a poem about the island of Puerto Rico. I want to thank everybody tonight. Again, all the performers and the People's Music Network. A George Washington University study estimated the death toll from Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico at about 3,000. My father was born in the mountain town of Utuado, Puerto Rico in 1930. My grandmother was born in Utuado. My great-grandfather was the mayor of Utuado. John Lee Anderson, writing about Hurricane Maria in the New Yorker magazine, said, "The municipality of Utuado has become a byword for the island's devastation." So I wrote this poem, Letter to My Father, in the fall of 2017. Yet my father died 3 years earlier. The poem, in fact, evolved from the practice of talking to my father's ashes in a box. So here it is. Letter to My Father, October 2017. You once said, "My reward for this life will be 1,000 pounds of dirt shoveled in my face." You were wrong. You are 7 pounds of ashes in a box, a Puerto Rican flag wrapped around you next to a red brick from the house in Utuado where you were born, all crammed together on my bookshelf. You taught me there is no God, no life after this life, so I know you're not watching me type this letter over my shoulder. When I was a boy, you were God. I watched from the 7th floor of the projects as you walked down into the street to stop a public execution. A big man caught a small man stealing his car, and everyone in Brooklyn heard the car alarm wail of the condemned, "He's killing me!" At a word from you, the executioner's hand slipped from the hair of the thief. "The kid was high," was all you said when you came back to us. When I was a boy and you were God, we flew to Puerto Rico. You said, "My grandfather was the mayor of Utuado. His name was Buenaventura." That means good fortune. I believed in your grandfather's name. I heard the tree frogs chanting to each other all night. I saw a banana leaf and elephant palm sprouting from the mountain's belly. I gnawed the mango's pit, and the sweet yellow hair stuck between my teeth. I said to you, "You came from another planet. How did you do it?" You said, "Every morning, just before I woke up, I saw the mountains." Every morning, I see the mountains. In Utuado, 3 sisters, all in their 70s, all bedridden, all Pentecostales who only left the house for church, lay sleeping on mattresses spread across the floor when the hurricane gutted the mountain the way a butcher slices open a dangled pig, and a rolling wall of mud buried them, leaving the 4th sister to stagger into the street, screaming like an unheeded prophet about the end of the world. In Utuado, a man who cultivated a garden of aguacate and carambola, feeding the avocado and star fruit to his nieces from New York, saw the trees in his garden beheaded all at once like the soldiers of a beaten army, and so hanged himself. In Utuado, a welder and a handyman rigged a pulley with a shopping cart to ferry rice and beans across the river where the bridge collapsed, witnessed the cart swaying above so many hands that raised a sign that told the helicopters, "Campamento Los Olvidados," Camp of the Forgotten. Los Olvidados wait 7 hours in line for a government meal of Skittles and Vienna sausage or tarp to cover the bones of a house with no roof as the fungus grows on their skin from sleeping on mattresses drenched with the spit of the hurricane. They drink the brown water, waiting for microscopic monsters in their bellies to visit plagues upon them. A nurse says, "These people are going to have an epidemic. These people are going to die." The president flips rolls of paper towels to a crowd at a church in Guaynabo, Zeus lobbing thunderbolts on the locked ward of his delusions. Down the block, cousin Ricardo, Bernice's boy, says that somebody stole his can of diesel. I heard somebody ask you once where Puerto Rico needed to be free, and you said, "3 pulgadas de sangre en la calle." 3 inches of blood in the street. Now, 3 inches of mud flow through the streets of Utuado, and troops patrol the town as if guarding the vein of copper in the ground, as if a shovel digging graves in the backyard might strike the ore below, as if La Brigada swinging machetes to clear the road might remember the last uprising. I know you are not God. I have the proof. 7 pounds of ashes in a box on my bookshelf. Gods do not die, and yet I want you to be God again. Stride from the crowd to seize the president's arm before another roll of paper towels sails away. Thunder Spanish obscenities in his face. Banish him to a roofless rainstorm in Utuado so he unravels one soaked sheet after another till there is nothing left but his cardboard heart. I promised myself I would stop talking to you white box of gray grit. You were deaf even before you died. Hear my promise now. I will take you to the mountains where houses lost like ships at sea rise, blue and yellow from the mud. I will open my hands. I will scatter your ashes. Erutuado. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much.
Bravo.
And for one last word, back to Charlie.
Thank you, Martine. I'm going to carry that image of you carrying your father to the mountains. A lot of hard-hitting words tonight, and hope too. So I want to thank People's Music Network for helping us to share poetry and song with all of you tonight. I want to thank Ben Grosscup, who is the man behind the scenes, who has been doing the tech that allows us to be present to people here on Zoom and on Facebook. Tomorrow night, on the same Facebook page, I believe, is that right, Ben? Is it the same Facebook link tomorrow night?
Yeah, people will be able to check out a really fun song and poetry exchange taking place tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m., right at the People's Music Network Facebook page live stream. Yes, and you can learn more about other events at peoplesmusic.org. Thanks, Charlie, for organizing this, and thanks to all the performers.
Yeah, and credit certainly and thank yous to Martine, who came up with this concept of poets and songwriters feeding off of one another's craft and presenting an evening that flowed together. I think we accomplished that. Thanks so much to Lauren, to Rosie, to Brian, to Jen Dog. Who am I forgetting? I think that's all of us. I'll thank myself. And we hope to see you at a People's Music event in the very near future, tomorrow night, if you'd like. And I think that's about all I need to say. Are there any technicalities you want to end with, Ben, or should we just go out on a strong note?
Well, I think that was a strong note to end on. So thanks again, everyone. I'll end the live stream. Thank you.
Good night.